When you watch TV at home, it's remarkably simple. One screen, one remote, one feed.
Right, super easy.
But step into a massive sports bar on an NFL Sunday or, a secure government command center, and that simplicity just vanishes. You're suddenly looking at dozens of screens, overlapping live feeds, real-time data streams. It is basically controlled chaos.
Yeah, and managing that level of visual chaos without a single glitch, I mean, that requires some serious purpose-built hardware.
Exactly. So for today's deep dive, we are decoding the hidden tech that makes those extreme information displays possible. We're looking at a very specific piece of commercial glare from HDTV Supply. It's the $1,500 WolfPack 1080p 16 by 16 seamless HDMI video wall matrix switch.
Which is quite a mouthful. But if you want to understand how high-stakes environments actually manage data,
Yeah.
you really have to look at the machinery routing it.
Okay, let's unpack this. The core concept is right there in the 16 by 16 name.
Right, 16 in, 16 out.
Exactly. You have 16 HDMI inputs coming in and 16 HDMI outputs going out. But it's not like a traffic cop who has to stop one lane of cars to let another through.
No, not at all.
It's much more like a massive high-speed rail yard switchboard. The incoming tracks can instantly duplicate and realign to send any incoming train to any combination of outgoing stations simultaneously without anyone slowing down.
And that rail yard analogy perfectly tees up what's fascinating here. It's a feature called 100 millisecond seamless switching.
Wait, so literally a tenth of a second?
Yes, exactly. In a packed sports bar or a tactical facility, a blank screen during a switch is simply unacceptable. Imagine a crucial play is happening, someone changes the channel on one screen, and the whole wall just glitches to black.
Oh man, people would lose their minds.
Oh, absolutely. So the hardware in this switch bridges the feeds, so the transition happens in exactly a tenth of a second. You don't even have time to blink before the new feed is live.
That is wild. And now, because you can't exactly point a standard TV remote at a locked server rack in a closet, this beast needs industrial-grade control options. You can command it through a web interface, an app, or even hardwired RS-232 connections.
Right, and for those who aren't familiar, RS-232 is an older serial communication standard, but it is practically bomb-proof. In commercial AV tech, you use it because it simply does not fail.
And it's doing all this on a 10 gigabit per second bandwidth, right? Weighing just under 4.5 pounds. But here's where it gets really interesting.
You know, the resolution question.
Yes, we're talking about a $1,500 piece of equipment in an HDTV Supply catalog that is packed with 4K and 8K gear. Why is this high-end switch only running 1080p at 60 hertz? Isn't that totally outdated for that price tag?
I mean, it sounds counterintuitive at first, but if we connect this to the bigger picture, commercial tech is a constant battle between bleeding-edge fidelity and rock-solid reliability.
Makes sense.
Yeah, pushing 16 different 4K signals simultaneously requires astronomical processing power and bandwidth.
Right, and it introduces physical limits because
Yeah.
standard HDMI cables start dropping data after about 45 feet, don't they?
Exactly. If you're wiring a massive venue, you're constantly pushing those distance limits. So 1080p is just infinitely more stable over long cable runs. It's a lesson in reliability over resolution.
And keeping the power draw low.
Yes, exactly. By capping it at 1080p, this device can route all that data while drawing a maximum of just 22 watts of power. So no overheating, no system crashes.
That is incredibly efficient.
It really is. But to keep those 16 screens running continuously, you also need bulletproof digital handshakes. That's why features like HDCP 1.4 compliance and EDIDE management are the real heroes here.
Let's translate those for a second. HDCP 1.4 is basically a digital bouncer, right? It's the protocol that checks if the display is legally allowed to show copyrighted video so you don't get those annoying piracy lockouts on your screens.
Spot on. And EDIDE acts as the system's translator.
Oh.
It ensures the incoming video source and the outgoing TV are speaking the exact same language regarding resolution. Without EDIDE management, the signal constantly drops. With it, the switcher tricks the source into thinking it's always perfectly connected.
So what does this all mean for you listening to this right now? We demand this 100 millisecond seamless switching from our commercial screens.
We expect them to just work.
Right. We demand perfect reliability when routing our entertainment. Yet we subject ourselves to a massive matrix of inputs, emails, texts, news feeds, conversations, and we just expect our brains to handle all that context switching without any lag or fatigue.
Which is, I mean, practically impossible. We don't have the processing power to seamlessly switch between 16 mental tabs at once without dropping the signal somewhere.
Exactly. Which leaves you with a thought to mull over today. If your brain actually had a built-in EDI management system, a dedicated translator designed to regulate the sheer bandwidth of information you consume and ensure perfectly stable connections, what would your seamless switching speed be? Are you processing life in a crisp tenth of a second? Or are you spending too much of your day staring at a blank screen?